Greetings, Facebook. Greeting everybody. Listen, this is another powerful episode of the Word of the Day. This is episode 11. Man, I have a really exciting Word of the Day for you guys today. Yes, I do. Listen, I was talking to a friend of mine out of Maryland, the Washington, D.C. area, named Stan. I call him Stan the Man. And he said something to me that was so profound. So I want y'all to hold on to your seat because I have a really exciting word of the day. Listen, repost, like, share, tag some family members. You never know who's going through something and they need a word to get them through. So the title of the message today is, without loyalty, you'll never understand the pain of betrayal. Without loyalty, the word is loyalty, you will never understand the pain of betrayal. And that's what this young man said to me, and it blew my mind. So I brought that as the word of the day today, right? So, family, let's get real today, right? If you don't know what loyalty is, you'll never truly understand the depth of betrayal, right? I look at loyalty as a covenant of trust, right? Betrayal is the weapon that shatters it. Betrayal is the weapon that shatters it. Loyalty says, you know what? I'm with you no matter what. Betrayal whispers, I was never really with you at all. This is why we got to be careful, people. We got to have the spirit of discernment. So let's define loyalty and betrayal, right? From my perspective, loyalty is I call it unwavering faithfulness, devotion, and commitment, whether to God, family, friends, or a specific cause, right? It is a reflection of God's own faithfulness to us. When he said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. That's Hebrews 13:5. If you don't know that scripture, you know it now, right? But betrayal is treachery, deception, and disloyalty. It is when trust is traded in for personal gain. Because guess what, people? Betrayal cuts deeper than the sword because it comes from the ones we trust the most. Yes. So let's talk about the ultimate betrayal, right? Jesus and his disciples. So Yeshua, Jesus Christ, had 12 disciples, right? 12 disciples. Hold up 2 fingers, but he had 12 disciples. 11 were loyal, but 1, Judas, betrayed him. And here's the thing, people. Jesus knew Judas was going to betray him from the beginning. Imagine having a friend around you that you know is going to betray you before he betray you. John 6, I think it's verses 70, 71. And it says, yet he still fed Judas. He still taught Judas. He walked with Judas, and he even washed Judas' feet. Now, think about this. Jesus knew this man was going to betray him, but he still fed him, he taught him, he walked with them, and he washed his feet. That's loyalty on a divine level. That's loyalty on a divine level, people. That's what that is. That's loyalty on a divine level. And here's the difference between Jesus and us. I know people say, well, I ain't Jesus. I got you. I'm not either. But here's the difference between Jesus and us. He knew his betrayer. We don't. He knew his betrayer. We don't. That's why betrayal hits us so hard, because we don't know. It catches us off guard. But even in Jesus' betrayal, right? Jesus used it as a doorway to fulfill God's plan. So let me be clear. When Jesus went to the cross, that was loyalty in its highest form, right? He let himself be arrested while his disciples went free. He gave them the chance to spread the gospel to the ends of the earth. And this is why Jesus wasn't a gangster, but his sacrifice was gangster. Yeah, I like that, Lamar. Jesus wasn't a gangster, but his sacrifice was gangster. He didn't fight with a sword. He fought with his submission to the will of the Father. His submission to the will of the Father. So let me give you a theological insight. I like to say that because it makes me sound smart, right? Betrayal reveals the heart around us, right? It doesn't destroy God's plans. It advances it. Remember, Joseph in Genesis, right? Betrayed by his brothers. Yet God used it to position him for greatness. Now, betrayal does hurt, but it also exposes. Yes, it also exposes. So I always like to provide some tips and strategies on how to respond to betrayal. See, it's not the betrayal, it's how you respond to it, people. Watch patterns, not promises. Watch patterns, not promises, right? Judas walked with Jesus, but his heart was never aligned with him. You got to pay attention to actions over words. You got to pay attention to actions over words. You got to guard your inner circle. Not everyone around you is for you. Jesus prayed all night before choosing his disciples in Luke 6:12. So, and we also got to seek God's discernment before granting deep access. Don't let people get access to you until you pray about it and you try the Spirit by the Spirit. You let it build you, right? So don't let betrayal break you. You got to let it build you. Use betrayal as a stepping stone, not a stumbling block, people. If it didn't kill Jesus' mission, it won't kill yours. Forgive. This is powerful. You have to forgive. Forgive, but don't be blind. Jesus forgave Judas, but also called him what he was, a betrayer. Forgiveness doesn't mean, how can I put it? Naivety. It doesn't mean you're naive. But you gotta anchor yourself. You gotta anchor yourself, people, in God's loyalty. When God's people fall, God's loyalty never does. He is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. We're talking about the living God, the one that we frustrate his holiness all the time because of the things that we do. So here's my closing words. I'm getting ready to close. I do that all the time because it sounds funny because I hear these preachers do it. But anyway, let me say this. Betrayal will come. It might come from your friends, your family, your co-worker, your spouse, or even people you trusted the most. But loyalty to God keeps you standing. Remember, I want y'all to remember this. Remember this. Betrayal doesn't define you. It reveals them. It doesn't define you. It reveals them. Jesus took betrayal and turned it into salvation, people. If he could rise above it, so can we. So can we. But Jesus said to him, friend, do what you came to do. That's what he told Judas. He still called him a friend. He says, friend, do what you came to do. Then he came up and laid his hands on Jesus and they seized him. They seized him. Matthew 26:50. So here's the challenge of the day. I'm going to start offering the challenge of the day with my word of the day, right? Here's the challenge of the day. Look at the people around you. Are they loyal or opportunists? That's the question you got to ask yourself. Well, I'm glad you asked. That's the question you got to ask yourself. Then you got to pray for discernment, people. In this season, pray for discernment. Ask God to reveal the Judas in your life before they strike. Ask him. He'll tell you. He done already told you, just avoiding the signs. He already told you that man ain't good for you. He already told you that woman ain't good for you. He already told you your friends talk behind your back. He's already told you what you need to know, but you're not listening to your spirit. Listen, that is the word of the day, chapter 11. I mean, not chapter 11, episode 11. Listen, and I'll say this to you one more again. Without loyalty, you'll never understand the pain of betrayal. So no matter what you think of me or who you believe I represent, listen, people, keep God and Christ first in your life. This is Elder Lamar with episode 11 of the Word of the Day. Without loyalty, you'll never understand the pain of betrayal. Peace.